All right, so we are at Community Garden right now, and I just wanted to show you the progress. So we started to put some of the starts in the ground. We still have some flowers to plant. This is right after the rain that we had on Monday. I put in cucumbers. And then you can see that I strangely have forks sticking out of the ground. Those forks are in there to keep the bunnies and the squirrels away. So while you have small, tender starts that are very sweet and yummy for little critters, if you put the forks on them, as the bunny goes in to try to bite, it's going to get poked with the fork. So it is a nice, non-chemical, non-dangerous, non-invasive way to keep squirrels and bunnies out of your garden. All right, so we have the strawberry patches over here. This right here is asparagus. And so this is how asparagus grows. Now this is beyond when you would pick it. Notice it's starting to grow up kind of like a tree. And then if you look really closely, let's see if I can get it to focus. You can see that there are seeds on there. And so those will flower and seed. And this is year 2 for asparagus. So asparagus is one of those things you have to be patient for. It takes about 3 years before you can eat them. And then they come back every year. That's called a perennial. So if you have to plant it every year, that's called an annual because you have to plant it annually. But a perennial is something you plant and then it comes back. Now here's the strawberry patch and it's crazy loaded with flowers. So I'm excited to see how many we get. This is the blackberry patch. So this goes up and over. And midsummer, this thing is loaded. This right here is our blueberries, and we're going to talk more about this separate bed this week and why I have my blueberries in their own bed versus with all of the other berries. So then we come over here, and these are raspberries. So I cut these down in the spring, and they are coming back. Tons and tons of raspberry starts. If you would like some raspberry starts for your yard, please message me and I will get them to you. They're just little shoots that look like this, but you can plant those in your yard and you'll get big raspberry bushes like that. Then we have our fruit trees. We have 2 pear trees, so this is a pear and this one's a pear. And then we have 3 apple trees, so there's an apple, and this leaning one's an apple. We have a cherry tree right there. We have a plum tree that looks really sad. That doesn't look so good. We'll see how that works out this summer. And then that's an Italian, no, this one's the Italian plum, and that's a Japanese plum over there. So that's the fruit area of the community garden. All right, so let's transition now to the raised beds. You saw the blueberries. This one right here will be planted with flowers. This is called a pollinator garden. So we spent the last few weeks talking about the importance of pollinators and how without them our food doesn't get pollinated. So I use this bed strictly for flowers to bring in the honeybees and the mason bees and the bumblebees. This will eventually be filled with more pepper plants. So these right here are peppers. So all different kinds of pepper plants. And then I put eggplant in here. And I don't know what else I'm putting in here yet. I haven't decided. We're going to come back to this one in a minute. These are sad tomato plants. So this is what happens when you plant too early. The boys were really excited to get things in the ground. And so we put the tomatoes in 2 weeks ago when it was nice and warm. And now you can tell they're sad looking. They've been affected by the cold. They've had too much water. So when a tomato gets too much water, it starts to turn yellow. And you can't do anything about the rain. These are chives. And notice I let all of my, and not everything's bloomed yet, but I let all of my herbs go to flower, which if you were going to sell and eat them, you would pull these flowers off before they bloomed. But again, these bring pollinators. Over here, Haven't finished this yet either. This is a lot of work without the students. So usually this is open to students and everybody helps plant, and then we work it all summer and then we harvest, but I can't have any students over. So I'm doing this myself and with the boys and then a few college students. This bed is going to be, well, you can see here that we've got an arch. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it arches up like that. And that arch is for the green beans. So the green beans, these are pole green beans, so they'll climb all the way up this and make a beautiful arch this summer. This is where I usually put a lot of my leafy greens, spinach, kale, lettuces, different things like that. And then over here is the other side of the beans that meet up in the middle. And then, oh, they're coming up. I was really late to get these started, but you can see, if it focuses, we have peas coming up. And these peas will climb up this chicken wire. So that's a little tour of the garden. It's a big job, but it's rewarding and it's really fun. And if we ever get past the point where we can open things back up, I hope you'll join us. I'll send information how you can come see Kona. There's Kona right there. And that you can come help with the garden, because it really is fun and you learn a lot.